Man, you know, these vlogs have actually been, like, we've been filming these vlogs, like, pretty decently recently.
Oh, dude. Dude, we're coming together so well now. Like, I know we've done some pretty good ones, but I'm really satisfied where we are.
I know, especially the Birdman one.
Oh, dude, that joke about Michael Keaton and the scrambled eggs, like, I just
God,
blew my mind.
I think the camera's been off for, like, a couple of months, dude.
Son of a...
Mankind is the virus, and I'm the cure.
Sounds like a lot of people are going to die.
Do I look like I give a...
Hey everybody, welcome back, and it's been a long fucking time since we did a Dan and Shane Talk About.
We're alive!
I know, we're alive! And, like, I know it's been a little weird on this channel, especially that we don't really update as frequently as maybe, like, other channels, but rest assured, we're not stopping anytime soon with the videos. I mean, especially Dan's Video Den, it does kind of take a little bit of time, and it doesn't really help, too, that we have lives outside of this, because really, this is more of a hobby to us.
Dude, like, could you imagine that in, like, the last couple of months, we've gone from, like, just two dudes who had nothing better to do, so we sat in front of a camera to talk shit about movies, because that's literally all we did. And now it's like, we're working people. I'm at the end of my college career. I have a girlfriend. What?
But, you know, we've just been very busy, and the videos are going to take a bit of time. In fact, right now I'm working on about 2 episodes of the Video Den, so hopefully this week will be decent enough to get some of those back in progress, and we can actually start getting a schedule, which I really regret putting, like, the actual December
at the end of the Power Rangers video. We'll finish this in December. We're still working on the script in March.
The thing was, I was close to working in December. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it. We're called Hi. We're going to need you We're going to need you a lot. But anyway, we have actually gone out to the movies, because we actually had time to go out to the movies, to go see Kingsman, The Secret Service. And I gotta say, when I first saw the trailer, I didn't really know what to think of the movie. It could have been either good or bad, just on the premise alone.
Dude, I remember when we first saw the trailer, I was like, this very much looks like a young adult, like, novel spy movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, God. They took fucking vampires, they took, like sorcerers or whatever, they took, like, monster hunters, and now they're taking spies. I was like, fuck you, tweens.
Yeah, it was really going to be one of those things, especially considering that it's pretty much kind of follows that same template a little bit, too, of, like, the whole, like, thing, only instead of a wizard school, it's a spy school. Yeah. So it's pretty much like, you're a spy, Eggsy. I'm a what? So that didn't kind of help matters, but, you know, when I saw Matthew Vaughn was behind it, I had more confidence in it because, again, like, X-Men First Class, later Kick-Ass, especially Kick-Ass, where that was where he actually took a Mark Millar story that had good elements, but also kind of went in by, like, bad elements, and found a way to remove the bad elements and up the good elements.
Yes, indeed.
So I was like, okay, I'm not going to worry about this thing being like the comic, because, you know, Mark Millar doesn't really make too many good comics. He makes decent pitches for movies now, because that's kind of all he writes right now, is that. So we saw this, and we got some stuff to say about it. Yeah. So first, let's talk about the good. Okay, so there's a lot to say about this movie, because this is actually a really, really fun movie.
Yeah, we should probably rephrase when we say that we saw this and have some stuff to say. We saw this twice.
In the same week, actually.
In the same week. God damn, was I having a blast in this thing.
Oh my God, I still love this thing. This is actually... I think the reason why it's so fun is because this movie does not take itself serious.
At all.
It really is. It's kind of like a giant tribute to, like, the Roger Moore kind of style Bond films that were just, like, so out there.
Yeah.
But less kind of weird about it.
I'd say that's exactly what it is, because they actually make sure to work, like, the nods to those films into the script and into the movie.
Oh, yeah, and just, like, some of the other nods to, like, just certain cultural things were kind of funny, too.
I mean, there's just straight up, just, like, breaking the fourth wall so many times with mentionings of, like, what type of movie things were and, like, how much they love spy movies. Like, you knew what this was while you were watching it, because they didn't try to hide what it was. They were just like, yep, This is an homage to old spy movies.
From there also too, because it's like over the top, you also get like a lot of the over the top kind of characters. I mean, you get especially Samuel Jackson's role as what is it?
Richmond Valentine.
Richmond Valentine, who is. I honestly think it's just kind of a brilliant idea for a villain. Like,
dude.
Not also is he like this rich entrepreneur. He's also got like this probably one of the best like I think weaknesses like any other villain is that despite a movie that's like overly violent, he's the one character who's opposed to violence.
Yeah, the villain is like completely against violence. He can't see it. He can't look at it. If he sees a drop of blood, he projectile vomits.
Yeah, even when he shoots someone in the head, he's like, "Oh shit, that felt awful. No, that's terrible." I mean, Grant, this guy's plan. Like, spoilers, by the way, for anyone who hasn't seen the movie.
Okay, here's the thing. We haven't been around for a while, but anybody who watches this vlog, anybody who watches any of our series, know that we don't really give a shit about spoilers. This is just us talking about the movie. So if you've watched our videos, you know that they're coming. But in case, spoiler alert.
But anyway, like, despite the fact that this guy's plan is essentially to, like, have people, like, tear each other apart, essentially, I just find that's funny, and it leads to the film's humor that this is the one character who's just, like, opposed to all the violence around him.
That's great.
I love that. It's a great little character quirk I like. Especially his relationship with his assistant is pretty fun, too.
Yeah, I actually don't remember her name. I think I've seen, like...
Gazelle, I think it is.
Yeah, it was Gazelle. Yeah.
It was Gazelle. Who especially her fight scenes because she's an amputee with
Yeah, she has prosthetic legs that have, like, essentially swords, but we'll just say, like, blades in the heel that can extend, and she fights with all kicks, so she's essentially, like, dual-wielding sword, but in her legs.
Right. And, like, it definitely brings a lot of upset. Because, again, like, that kind of sense is, like, over the top.
Yes.
And it's kind of weird how this movie kind of goes, like, slightly straight-faced from the beginning, like, despite the fact that, like, you know, you have this woman with prosthetic blade legs cutting someone in half, and that's considered, like, the most tame the movie gets.
Yeah, it is.
Towards the end. Because it just keeps getting more and more insane, especially the ending.
Yeah. You know what's impressive when you live in a world where gore is, like, the new translation for horror. Like, that's just immediately when people see horror film, they're just like, blood everywhere.
Right.
So we're kind of desensitized to that stuff. You know you made an achievement when, like, we're sitting there in the movie just going, oh! Oh!
Especially in one certain scene with Colin Firth, who I have to say, I actually was really impressed that they kind of turned him into somewhat of an action star in this movie.
Yeah, Colin Firth was
like, he handled a lot of his action scenes fairly well, especially the scenes where he needed to be, like, very physical. I was actually kind of surprised by that.
I was impressed.
It really, I kind of want to see Colin Firth in more action.
I do, too!
Like, quit giving to Leslie Neeson. Fucking Colin Firth, he can handle it. God damn it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Also, too, Eggsy, I thought was there. I kind of forget the actor's name, honestly. Like, I was actually surprised, too, because I thought he would, like, kind of fade out in the story, considering, like, it's a story about him, but, like, all these other characters who were kind of, like, over the top and
but he was
memorable. But he was actually, I gotta admit, like, it's pretty much his story is, like, a rags to riches kind of thing, or if you want, like, a hood to, like, gentleman kind of style, which I was actually kind of impressed by. Like, it doesn't, like, like, and we'll get later on to this to the negatives, like, it does kind of follow the tropes a little bit of that, but, like, honestly, it's still
kind of,
yeah, I mean, it still kind of works well. You still buy this character's transition from this kind of street hood to, like, a proper gentleman spy.
It's the subtle nature of the transition, because I had to watch it a second time to realize that his accent changes towards the end, his dialogue changes, but you don't necessarily catch it. It's transitioned so well and so subtly that you're not shaken into it. So when you notice, you go, yeah, you know, he changed his demeanor. Like, obviously he changes his clothes and his stance, but, like, his vocal stylings change as well.
Right. Like, and that's also not to speak for the humor of this film as well. I could see maybe where some might call it crude, but I gotta be honest, like, because it doesn't really take itself too seriously, I wasn't really bothered by it. Like, I found it funny.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think the crude humor is what makes it work, because this is a movie about gentlemen spies,
right?
Who were like, proper, British gentlemen with just the most crude humor ever. So that's why it's funny, because it doesn't fit into the world, and I think it makes it work well.
I really do. Like, the problem that could come with, like, a Mark Millar story, like, especially that is, like, Mark Millar does a lot of that too, like the hyper the top violence and the kind of crude humor, and like, but sometimes it goes to a certain point where it's like, Mark, you're kind of saying something really bad about black people. Can we kind of get back to, like, the thing that's focused on the story here? Like, thankfully, like, I think Matthew Vaughn was just kind of made for adapting these movies, because he's taking all the elements that work about those stories and just leaving out all the shit that doesn't. All the shit that is really, that bogs down his comic books. Well, okay, at this point he doesn't really write comics. He just writes movie premises at this point, because that's pretty much what it is. Like, Kick-Ass, movie. Kingsman, movie. Superior, which just finished a while ago, movie. Like, pretty much everything he's writing now is already getting a movie deal. So, whatever. If Matthew Vaughn's behind it, I'll at least see it, because at least he's proving to make better movies. He's like the one section where it's like, the movie's actually better than the books. It's better than the source material. Yeah, it's that rare occasion that you never really kind of see, like, because you always hear, like, even with the 50 Shades crowd, people are going like, oh, well, the book was better. It's like, now it's like, wow, hey, the movie was actually 10 times better than the fucking book. I'm not even gonna, like, dignify that with an answer. Hey, you don't know how many times I've gotten that complaint. But now that we obviously have talked about how this film really has made us have a lot of fun, we got to eventually come down to the negatives. So these aren't really partially negatives, but like there's really like one negative that I think we can both agree on, but like others where I think it's more like what other people could maybe see as problems for it. Yeah. Like, for example, I do think the CGI is kind of wonky at certain spots, especially the green screens in a couple scenes. That was... Dude, the opening credits... Oh yeah, yeah. I respect what they tried to do, but at the same time, I was like, this is kind of dumb, and it's like the transition from, like, debris into the letters. Right. It wasn't smooth at all. Yeah, it was, maybe that was when they were probably shooting it for 3D. Maybe they thought that. It totally looks like it. It honestly kind of feels like an unfinished, like, 3D effect, honestly. It totally does. So, I don't know, maybe that was, like, their goal was originally they were going to go 3D, and then it just kind of like, never mind. But it's just... Yeah, it was, I mean, obviously not, opening credits aren't going to make or break a film, but for me, I was just sitting there like, oh, God, is this what this movie's going to look like? But, also, too, there's, I think there's a scene where, like, Eggsy and Harry are going down. Harry is Colin Firth's character, by the way. Probably should have mentioned that. But anyway, they're going down this elevator shaft, and you can kind of clearly see where the green screen is, like, behind them. Yeah. Like, you can kind of clearly see, like, the outline of where it is, and it doesn't really help that they keep cutting back to, like, the real elevator, fake elevator, real elevator, fake elevator. It's not bad, but, like, I think because of the film's kind of, like, over-the-top and cartoony nature, it's not so much of a big problem. But I can see it more as, like, a technical flaw that is kind of there. Essentially, at this point, we've had so much fun with the film that we actually had to sit down for like 10 minutes and go, all right, what didn't we like about this? Let's like nitpick some crap. Yeah, because it's really only a technical flaw. It's nothing that really like bugged me. I mean, I've seen way worse CGI effects in certain big budget movies. Yeah, especially from last year. But honestly, it's not really that bad. Like it's not quite good, but it's something that I don't feel like people will be like, ugh, this is horrible. I could see the outline of the green screen. 0 stars. -5. Yeah. But it really is, because of the cartoony nature, I think it kind of hides it up a little bit. And another thing that we did kind of mention, like the crude humor and the violence. I do feel like in certain ways, because of the subject matter, because this is a very British film, which is actually surprising that something that is ostensibly very British, actually did come out to the States as a American summer blockbuster.
Yeah, totally.
And
well,
it's
winter, but I mean,
winter, but like that's right. Although I'm actually surprised this didn't come out for summer, because I actually think this is a decent summer movie.
Yeah, this totally should have been a summer movie, but I'm actually kind of glad it came out now.
Yeah, I mean, like, what else was there in February, honestly?
Especially because, we here in the Northeast are getting fucking bent over by Jack Frost right now, so it'd be nice to, like I'm wearing shorts to, like, maybe get myself into a better mood, but we're going outside. It's snowing right now. I'm screwed.
What I think might be is, like, the subject matter, because there are a couple points where it's, like, pretty much, like, the bad guy is an evil capitalist America who eats McDonald's and makes a deal with the president, so I could easily see someone going, like, hey, they're dissing America! I could easily see that, like, with someone, like, honestly, that wasn't the stupidest thing we heard when we came out of the theater.
Oh, my God. Okay, so, I don't give a shit about talking trash about these people. As we walked out, there were two people behind us. I believe they were a couple.
Right.
Not an older couple. They were around our age.
Right.
Complaining that this movie didn't have subtitles.
Because they couldn't understand that British talk.
Ma'am and sir, whatever your names are, would you like to know why this movie didn't have subtitles? It's because it was in English. And you speak English.
And even then, it's not really, like, ones that are, like, that hard to decipher what it is. I mean,
yeah,
like I've heard, like, having watched, like, the BBC for fucking years,
mm-hmm.
like, that's not even the worst. It's like, if you don't understand what brav means, it's pretty much self-explanatory. What does brav means? Brother. Bruv? Yeah.
Bruv.
Yeah.
Bruv, brother, bruv.
Yeah. But, like, that was dumb. But honestly, I can kind of see where some of those cultural things, like, honestly, I'm surprised Fox News hasn't been on it yet. Or maybe they just don't care about it. Because it's like, well, this is one of our movies. We can't really talk about that. We want to, but we can't.
I mean, half the shit that they were putting out... Like, here's the thing. Yeah, the Americans were the villains and stuff, but I mean, at the same time...
Well, no, so was fucking Tony Blair.
Yeah, that was Tony Blair. Sweden, but I mean, like, yeah.
Like, it's totally Tony Blair.
It totally is. You could see the elements of, like... if you want to say anti-American stuff, but I mean, are half of them wrong anyway?
Well, no, and to be honest, it's sort of like a fair painting of both, because it's really more aristocrats than it is actual, like, just one nation. Like, I mean, there's, like, Tony Blair's, like, there's a blatantly Tony Blair character in there.
He's supposed to be the, what is he?
Like, I think he's, like, Swedish or something?
Yeah, no, he's Swedish, but what is he? He's the,
I forget what fake name they gave him.
No, there was the princess, and then he was either the ambassador, or he was, like... He was... We'll call him the ambassador for this case. That's not what it was, but we'll go with that. Yeah, he's so, like, impossibly a Tony Blair character.
He really is. Like, it's hard not to, like, see. It's, like, it's right there.
So... Yeah, I mean, it's a thing, like, it's there, but at the same time, I don't necessarily see it as, like a Rule Britannia kind of movie, because, like, even, like, we're gonna spoilers here, like, even the head dude of the Kingsman is a fucking traitor, like,
yeah, so
every single person has, kind of done their part.
Yeah, if anything, it's kind of more of, like, fuck the upper class kind of stuff.
Yes, it's a very...
pretty much it's like the upper class are deciding, like, who's better enough, who's, like, more worthy enough to live and repopulate the earth in some kind of, like, evil plan shit. Mm-hmm. So it's really more of that kind of thing. I'm actually surprised no controversy has been said about the church scene with Colin Firth. But honestly, like... Okay,
any movie that is willing to fucking massacre a Westboro Baptist church stand-in... Fine by me. In fact, I went to go see it again just so I could watch them all die again.
Like, aside from being like a well choreographed fight scene,
it was awesome.
Oh yeah, like I hate to say, like, it's somewhat cathartic to see it. Like, they could have just named it; and it would have been the same effect.
Definitely,
because like everybody knows like what it was when they first showed up. It's like, yeah, it's the Westboros,
which is opened up with like literally my favorite line in recent movie history. I won't even spoil it because I want you to see this one, but I want it on a T-shirt.
Like, honestly, I was surprised that didn't get touched upon because I thought that would be somewhat controversial considering like how thinly veiled that specific scene is. But I think, But I think at this point it's kind of hard to like condone like fictional violence towards a hate group because like when the KKK even says you're very hateful, that's kind of
Even
in real life when
the Klan's like, you guys might want to tone it down a little bit.
Then you kind of figure you might figure you're kind of an asshole if that's the case.
Dude comes up to you at protesting a funeral with a fucking swastika carved into his forehead, like, you guys are offending people. You might want to leave.
But now that we offended you, Whisper audience members out there,
fuck you. I don't even care if you're offended.
Neither does Matthew Vaughn.
Unless you watch her videos, then you're cool. No,
but
fuck you anyway.
But anyway, I don't have a big problem with it, though I could see... Like, really, it's not stuff that I have a problem with, but it's things where I can see other people having a problem with, really. So that's really more where it is. But other than that, I still kind of like this movie. I mean, really, because it takes itself not so seriously, I didn't really take it too seriously, and all I could really look at were the technical aspects of the movie itself.
For sure.
And I guess if you want to be there, like, it does kind of follow, because it is like a rags to riches kind of story, you do have a little bit of the tropes kind of in there.
They are, but they're not, I don't think they really, like, bog the film down. I don't think they're as obvious as as we were putting it out to be.
Yeah, I mean, like, considering, like, I like the way the spy tropes are there, like, I could easily see someone going, like, oh, it does kind of follow, because, you have the snooty rich guy who's like, oh, a poor boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have the whole thing is like where everyone underestimates him and then he excels and all the other things, but they're really just tropes of storytelling in general. They're there. I mean, it's it pretty much is like the Harry Potter tropes of like, you're gonna be a great spy. Spy. I mean, wizard. Shit.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. You're a wizard, Harry. But anyway, yeah, honestly, like, those kind of little things are just little things. And because the movie doesn't take itself too seriously, I never really took them as serious, like, flaws. They're just flaws that are there. And even the other stuff that we were talking about with, like, the Westboro Baptist scene and, like, the American kind of stuff, like, that's just stuff that I can see, like, other people having problems with, really. And honestly, it's going to be... Your enjoyment of this film is if you can take it as seriously as it is, or if you're kind of like up for that kind of like the crude humor and the violence. Especially the final joke of the movie is pretty much a crude as hell as you can get. But, which we're not spoiling right now. Just because it is that funny. But, really because the movie does not take itself too seriously, I never have those problems. And really, since we're done with this section, I think we should give up our conclusions.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, so what did you think of Kingsman, The Secret Service?
Okay, so one of my favorite things about movies is when I go in with a certain like set of expectations, and they're completely just blown away. Like, they're not what I thought it was going to be at all, and that's what Kingsman was for me. I came in this not even, like, I didn't even know about the source material, which is honestly kind of rare for me, because I usually know about, like, the comics or graphic novels that things are based upon. So, like I said, I had no idea about any of this stuff. So coming in, I was fresh-faced, if you want to put it like that.
Yeah.
And just from the moment I heard Chicks for Free, or Money for Nothing, that's what Money for Nothing. The moment I heard Money for Nothing, I was like, yes, we're in this. And it was just awesome from there. Every single time any action happens at all, you're just dragged in. You're just having a good time. Like, I just sat there having a good time. There's only so many times I was like, dude, you see that? The scene alone we mentioned, the church scene, won me for this movie the moment it happened. I was just like, it was one of the best. It was actually one of the best, like, choreographed action scenes I've seen in a long time. Like, I think, like, The Raid is above it, but, like...
Oh, well, yeah.
But that's a movie that's based... Yeah, that's The Raid, like...
That's already, like, a high bar.
I mean The Raid 2, like, but, just everything about it, the comedy was great. Sam Jackson, I mean, I don't really have to say Sam Jackson was awesome, because he's fucking awesome and everything, but, I think the choice of Samuel L. Jackson as Richmond Valentine was phenomenal. He portrays the character great. Just like every character, I don't think there was really like a wasted character in this movie. I mean, yeah, some were more like just passive characters, but every person they wanted you to become invested in, you do. So I loved it. I thought it was great. If I had to give it a number, I'd probably throw it at like I'd say a 4.5 out of 5.
I really had a fun time with this movie. It was really fun. Again, because it doesn't take itself too seriously, I wasn't really taking the movie too seriously because it really was a throwback to where Bond films were more outlandish and more over the top and more kind of cheesy in that sense. So I had fun with that. The problems that I do mention are very kind of minor, so it doesn't really detract from my enjoyment of the overall picture, because really, it is made to be a fun kind of send up of these older films, and it follows the spy tropes to a T. It follows like other tropes, some that are kind of a little bit like overused, but honestly, I didn't mind it again because it worked well with the story, and I felt that it was done well enough to where it never detracted me from it.
Right.
But honestly, if I would have to give the movie a rating, I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, that's
probably 4 out of 5, just because I do feel like some of the technical elements were a bit wanting to be desired. So I did but overall, even despite that, it's really such a minor thing. It really is a fun movie. I mean, there's really not much else now. I mean, what are you going to see? The Lazarus Effect or 50 Shades? Well, okay, you probably been already forced to see 50 Shades, but like honestly, I'd see this movie. It really is a fun movie, and I'm probably gonna go see it again. Who knows?
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked by that.
So, like, I definitely recommend it. It's definitely worth it. So anyway, that was Kingsman Secret Service. We both enjoyed the hell out of it, and you probably are going to too. So, without further ado, I'm Dan from the Den.
And I'm Shane. God damn, does it feel good to be back.